Hey, good afternoon. We are live from San Martino de Porto at the Silver Coast meetup of Expats Portugal, and we have got a stellar lineup of guests for you this afternoon. I'm just going to drop that music in the background there for a minute. I'm going to keep the camera on the view of the bay. Last week, of course, we had the Festa here, Sant'Antonio Festa, and you couldn't see the bay. We were kind of hidden by little cabins. Oh, there's a local drunk. just no, virtual producer, actually real producer today, T-Duck, who's helped set this all up today, and we're live on air from San Martino de Porto. The beautiful view you can see, and I'm going to spin the camera around now because the first star of the show to be joining us, you may have seen him from his 35,000 click YouTube sensation, who is Bob, who's with us. Bob and Viv, you may know because of Vitor, of course. He's our mutual friend, isn't he? Our man in the north who's on the Good Morning Portugal show tomorrow, Vitor Costa. And of course, we're all connected to Vitor. He's the hub of our of us spokes, isn't he? The centre of our universe in the north of Portugal, for sure. Bob, welcome. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, sir. Very glad to be here.
It's a real pleasure to be talking to you. So, you made a video. You're a YouTube sensation in your own right. You made a video with Vitor, and it's had 35k hits. What's going on? What's that about?
We're not really sure. As Viv says, we thought maybe 6 people in all of Ponta de Lima might see this.
Yes.
And we've already met one couple who saw the video, bought tickets, and came over to visit. And they are in the process of applying for a D7. Just
saw the video and thought, we like the north of Portugal. We'll do what Bob and Viv did.
And Vitor is working with them to get them established. So
incredible.
They're in process.
Incredible. I do like your microphone cover.
Isn't that fun? Yeah,
you can stroke it.
That's great. Oh, as long as it doesn't tickle my.
Phil's here as well.
It doesn't tickle my mustache.
No, okay. Well, we'll see what we can do about it. The producer will step in if that starts to occur. Well, that's extraordinary.
It is.
I think I was going to say, obviously, people know why there's a great attraction to the north of Portugal. Maybe they don't. What is it you love about it?
Oh my word, the beauty.
Yeah.
The antiquity, and the people. We arrived December 9th. And there have been flowers in bloom ever since we arrived. And Vivian's originally from Florida, and there are trees that live in the north of Portugal that cannot live in the Orlando, Florida area because they get a hard enough freeze in Orlando to kill them.
But not in the north of Portugal.
Not Ponta de Lima. You go much further north, or if you get in higher altitude. My understanding is yes, but we have had flowering trees since we arrived. It's just the beauty is amazing, and but I would say it's eclipsed by the beauty of the people. They are just wonderful folks to know.
Yes,
and so it's just.
And Vitor's a great Vitor, who you'll see on the show in the morning. He's a great example, isn't he? He's a great spokesman and representative ambassador. For Ponta de Lima, and I think that northern spirit, I think you're talking about the soul.
The soul, yeah. They are very personable, and we have been very welcome. And we do what we can do to fit in. You know, we're doing all we can. We're part of the community. One of the driving factors in learning the language right now, there are 2 actually. Our neighbor has 3 grandchildren. And they hop up on the cement ledge on the fence between the 2 houses and start talking to us, and we can't answer.
It's quite insensitive, isn't it?
Yeah, and of course we love kids, and so that's one thing. And now I was just telling Carl that I've been invited to be part of the local band, which has a very good name and reputation, and is extremely talented.
Oh, brilliant!
And
you're a trumpet player, right?
Trumpet,
that's what you told me. Yeah, and there's been a warm welcome for you.
Oh, totally, right. Totally. I haven't pulled out my horn yet, though. It might all change. It might all change.
Who doesn't like to?
It might change in our
hurry. If you're tuned in, this is an unusual time for us to be on, of course, in the middle of the afternoon. Live from San Martino de Porto on the Good Morning Portugal show channel, which of course is expatsportugal.com. Check out expatsportugal.com and join us as a member. You can join our community free. 11,000 of us are both on the website and on the YouTube channel. So lots of lovely help, lots of the same sort of vibe and friendship that Bob is putting across there. Generally, I think about Portugal, but you're particularly fond and have fallen in love with the north.
We have, but we moved from Colorado.
Okay, well, herein lies another trend, right? Because you're not the only ones to come from Colorado to actually Ponta de Lima.
Actually, to Ponta de Lima area, yeah.
Why would that be?
The only thing, well, from our perspective, we came because the weather was similar as far as the highs in the summer.
Yep.
But the winter is a whole lot warmer. And
there's a big smile on your face as you say that.
I've lived my entire life, Carl, where it snowed or had freezing rain.
Right.
And had ground that froze from 4 to 6 feet deep.
You don't get that in Ponta de Lima?
We don't get that. And I still am in awe at water lines running on the outside for a spigot. But
as in because you couldn't do that because it would freeze and snap.
Freeze and break. My goodness, yes. They were buried 4 to 6 foot deep because they would freeze if they were any less.
Extraordinary.
And so this is the first winter in my 60 plus years that I've ever spent without a water line freezing, probably.
Wow.
So anyway, I think people from Colorado, that's one of the appeals.
So it's like Colorado, but without the extremes.
Yeah, without the extremes, and we do have the altitude variations.
Yes.
And we have twistier roads in the north of Portugal than even we were used to in Colorado.
Oh, really?
Oh my word! And steep. I was on a grade. We will have signs in Colorado if it's anything over 7-8% grade. There'll be a sign. I drove a big truck. I like those signs. Viv and I were on a grade going to a church to visit a few weeks ago. I took a picture of it. 16% grade.
Whoa.
Yeah. And it was a street.
Are you glad you weren't in your 18-gear truck at that point?
Oh my word! yeah. But anyway, it wouldn't have fit. It's too narrow.
Anyway, enough about this north of Portugal place that you speak of. What do you think? If I spin this, I'll spin the camera around so we can have a look at the view again here. We're in the Bay of San Martino de Porto. Thanks for coming all this way. Not a long distance for Americans. You drive 3 hours to go out for dinner in the States, wouldn't you, I think?
Not normally, but to see family.
To see family. And here you are in the Bay, nice and quiet today. It's a lovely view, isn't it?
It is beautiful, and it's peaceful, it's quiet, and we really enjoy the coast whenever we come to the coast. We were just in the coast by Viana de Castelo a week ago. So we really enjoy it. What we like the best is it's so close we can get there any day we want with a half-hour drive. But yet we can enjoy the just the different feel and comfort of our town of Ponta de Lima in the area.
I think you've steered it back to the north of Portugal again there, Bob.
I did.
Yes.
It's where I live. Sorry, Carl. But this is fantastic. We love it.
While we're there, we can speak of, this is the Silver Coast. You've got the Green Coast up there. Now, that's not as well known, is it? The Costa Verde of Portugal. Povoa de Varzim is part of that, isn't it? I can't remember the next town north, but we have friends there now. Your coast, tell us more about that. Is that colder?
I don't know because I haven't spent enough time down here.
Okay.
You know, I know
compared to your Colorado.
Well, we didn't. You didn't get in the water in Colorado.
All right. So safe to say you might on some good days on the Costa Verde.
A lake or something like that. But,
okay.
But I don't. Viv would have something compared to being from Florida.
Yes.
But I have no coastal comparison whatsoever.
No,
I've lived inland. What we have seen of it, it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's breezier than inland ways. We've been surprised at the dunes you get to walk to get down to the beach.
Yes.
We have yet to be in a town where it was like the beauty here of San Martino de Porto, where it's the beach is just right there, and you're walking down the street beside the beach. It's amazing.
Yes.
And we have spent Nights down here, we've spent nights in Nazaré.
Mhm.
We love it there.
Yeah.
And walking those beaches up there, you typically have to go a little bit to get there.
Yeah, a bit harder work.
Yeah.
But the thing is, forgive me for getting into a kind of, what's best and making it a competition. You don't have to choose, do you?
You don't.
You have this, you just jumped in the car and here you are on the Silver Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And fairly easy. I mean, I know that America is an easy country to drive in. It's built for the motor car, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Could the same be said for Portugal? Do you like driving here?
Well, if you're on the Autostrada, they call it, correct? On the interstate, we would call it.
What do they call
I think
that?
it's the Autostrada.
The
what?
Autostrada.
Autostrada. I knew that wasn't quite
the A
right.
roads. The
A
A roads. Yeah.
So we like taking the country roads through the villages and everything.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yes.
But from Ponta de Lima to here, it almost doubles the trip as far as the amount of time it takes.
Yes.
Because a lot of the time you're not over 50K, which is 30 miles an hour.
Yes.
Just because that's the roads.
Yeah.
And there are villages. So we take those routes a lot.
I'm with you on that.
But
you see the real Portugal that way, don't you?
You see the real Portugal. On the A, they I think intentionally didn't destroy the real Portugal. They took it in spaces that they could run it. But,
yes. But you could be anywhere, couldn't you? When you're on the A roads, you might be in France or Germany. You get on the N road here, and or even the other numbers. Yeah, because we've got the A8 is our closest. They've got the N8. And then you've got the 115 close by, which is like the back road into Lisbon.
Okay.
And that's where you see the Portuguese
that's where you
culture.
See, you do. And you watch yourself going around the curves because the house that's on the curve might have a door that steps onto the street.
It's so true. So cats, dogs, children. Yeah, be careful.
Oh, you do. You do have to drive very aware.
Yes.
And we've more than once, by looking at Google Maps, ended up in streets narrower than our car and had to back out.
It happens. It happens. Be prepared for that. Yeah.
We when it comes to travel, we have learned that all of it is part of the adventure. It's just, that's how we approach travel. That's even how we approach Siri giving us directions for the next roundabout when we're in the middle of a first roundabout, and now you're saying, "Oh, am I supposed to go there?" Or
yes, Rua Principal. Where is it? Yes.
And street signs, folks. Yeah.
Well, that's a really nice tip there, Bob, about adjusting to life in Portugal, adjusting to being a newcomer in the country. Would you extend that to most of your life here? It's all part of the adventure, not just the driving thing.
Totally. We look at every single day as an adventure, and we're so grateful that our adventure put us in Portugal. And are not wealthy, but we're comfortable and we're enjoying life. And I was sharing with Carl earlier that I've gotten so used to enjoying life that when I had to do something a couple of weeks ago, I was a little miffed about it because
the smell of routine and responsibility was in the air.
Yeah.
How dare life present you with that?
So coming from someone who never thought retirement was a possibility.
Oh really?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't know where I would live that I could retire like this. And so when Portugal came up with a possibility for us, it was, we'd both been to Europe, not together, but we'd both been to Europe before. And we both enjoy it. We love history. We love antiquity. And so if we see an interesting road, we just take it. You know?
That's a metaphor as well as an actual reality by the sound of it. And I can tell you, I consider Bob to be a friend. We've hung out before. And the gratitude, I think, that you were speaking of, I don't know if that's the exact word you used, but your experience of being here and this opportunity that's come about for you, is the gratitude exudes from you. You're delighted to be alive, and to be being alive here is the sense I get from you.
Oh yeah, we are. We're delighted in every single day. Yeah. And start each day with that attitude of gratitude. I don't care where you are in the world, that works.
There you go, folks.
And we've found it to be invaluable as we embark on this adventure, because it is different.
Yeah.
It's not what we're accustomed to,
Uh-huh.
but we're very comfortable in the adventure. We're just enjoying it. We really are. We really are.
That is so lovely. Chris is one of the many people tuned in. We're not used to being on air at this time, but thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and listening to Bob and I talk as we sit here at the Silver Coast Meetup, live from San Martino de Porto. Chris is saying, I would love to hear you blow that horn like Steve Jankowski or Tom Brown. Would you put yourself in the same league as Tom Brown, funking for Jamaica, for example?
Oh, no. I don't think
Give
so.
it a go, though, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But if I start practicing with these kids, literally, that are some of the ones in this band, who knows where it'll go?
That's an interesting observation again about the culture here, isn't it? You were talking to me earlier about the band, the orchestra.
Yeah.
And there's people of every age and from every realm of society there, right? It's truly a community orchestra.
It is a community, and it's not actually an orchestra, it's literally a band. There are no strings.
Okay, a
brass, woodwinds, and drums and percussion.
And you've been welcomed, and they have fun playing. The other funny thing is it's totally Portuguese as well. When do they rehearse?
Oh, 9 o'clock on Saturday nights.
Start at 9.
And the youngest members are in middle school. Yeah, and it runs till 11 at least. I think we finished 11:15 the other night. And then go out for a meal. Yeah. For a beer after that. That is brilliant, isn't it? But one of the brilliant things was I was telling Carl that George, I got to look up his last name. Amindes.
A top Portuguese trumpeter.
One of the
Almeida.
George Almeida.
Yeah.
Showed up and sat down with the trumpet group.
Yeah.
And was coaching and stayed extra to coach afterwards to give these young people. On his right were middle schoolers to high schoolers, probably high schoolers. And
you're next, John.
On the left were adults.
Yeah.
Young fellas, probably still under 30. He was coaching on technique, on style, and he's the best of the best.
Mm-hmm.
But
he'd heard about the American guy, though, I think, as well.
No, we had no clue. I had to ask who he was. I was embarrassed. But the point is that the community is so strong. We routinely see families walking down the street near the river in Ponta de Lima, arm in arm, 4 generations.
Yeah, brilliant.
And they're comfortable and happy with it. They enjoy each other. But then to have a professional show up at a local band practice.
Yeah.
And willingly, I asked George about it afterwards. Fortunately, he spoke good English. Mm-hmm. And I asked him, and he said, it's easy and fun if it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
And he was there just sharing his heart, his love for music.
There are so many metaphors in our conversation here. It's easy and fun when it comes from the heart.
Yeah.
How lovely is that? How lovely is that?
Oh, yeah.
A few more comments. Look, Tom S. Bon dia from Ohio. Thank you for joining us, Tom.
I lived
breakfast.
there for a while.
Did you? My dog smells. Number 1. There must be a few of them on YouTube. I wish we were there with you. Is that you and your dog? My dog smells one. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making a comment. Appreciate it. We still have a few more years before we can become full-time gumpers.
There you go.
That's my dog smells. You know what? We're hearing more and more people are truncating that waiting time, aren't they? And just thinking, like the people you mentioned at the beginning.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
Yeah. I'm not. No pressure there. My dog smells, but it is a. And with, I don't know, uncertainty in the world, I was just thinking we might as well go for it.
Well, because you never know if you have tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so just I encourage people thinking about it. Don't just sit on the fence.
Don't dilly dally. Okay.
Because you don't know if you got tomorrow.
Indeed. Sobering and hastening for the plans possibly there. The wonderful Jeff Jackson with us as well. Boa tarde, gents. Boa tarde to you as well, Jeff. Great to have you here. Thanks for saying hello. And apparently, Steve Jankowski has played with Chicago. the band. I've seen him several times touring with Nile Rodgers and Chic.
Okay. Chicago
pedigree.
style. I was working on it years ago.
Oh, really? There's a style, a city style.
Get back to that.
Wow.
It's a band style.
All right, brilliant. And look, she's been spotted in the background, and Louise is there too. You've been spotted from. Do you want to wave to Chris, who's seen you sat at the back there, Louise? Can you let her know that her last video was fantastic? There you go. Thank you very much, she says. And happy Wednesday all. A very happy Wednesday from here on the Silver Coast of Portugal. Coming to you live from Expats Portugal. Bob, having a chat. That was great fun talking to you, Bob.
I appreciate it.
You're a relaxing and comforting presence next to me here.
Thank you.
Very, very nice to talk to you. And look, this gives me an idea. Stick around because I think you might have inspired one or two people here. This gives me an idea. My wife is reluctant to move to Portugal. If I can have her make a personal connection. It was Tom S. who asked that question about, you might have an insight here, Bob, on this. It would go a long way to convince her on how good life is in Portugal. This is persuading the partner. You didn't have to do that, did you? You were both very happy to come to Portugal.
It was a long debate. I saw the opportunity on International Living. Actually listened to it and came home from work and said something to Vivian that night. And we decided we'd sleep on it.
Yep.
And the next morning we were good to go. So
okay.
I kid you not.
Tom S is thinking, that'd be great. That'd be great. But what would be your advice to somebody who's, people make their minds up, don't they? And they've got a partner and their partner isn't so keen. What would you do? What would be your strategy or suggestion there?
This is just my personal thought on it, and would be definitely come on an exploratory trip.
Okay.
See, we had never been to Portugal.
Right.
And but yes, if there's some debate, do a scouting trip. Expats Portugal has there are gumpers all over the country.
Gumpers, you're never more than about half a kilometer from a gumper, and that's getting closer all the time.
Oh yeah, and that would be my suggestion for anybody that's only halfway here. Take a trip. Take the trip. It's much cheaper to take a trip and make a decision than to sell everything, give things away, move.
You've both got to be committed at that point, haven't you?
And we did. We met a couple a week or 2 weeks ago, that he's all in and she isn't, and they're trying to figure it out.
Okay, and they've come to do their trip.
They are they're living here. They moved with just one of them saying, "Let's do."
Okay.
Basically, it's we don't know them well, but it kind of sounds like one kind of talked the other into let's give this a try.
Yeah, tricky.
And so I would highly recommend
in that situation. I suppose you've got to honor the fact that the partner might change their mind.
Sure.
And then you might have to move again, right? But if you come and do the scouting trip and the other partner falls in love with it and you're both ready to come, then you've got a different proposition on your hands.
Totally different. And I think your energy in the process, interpersonal energy between you be so much different,
Yes, you won't be having that in the back of your mind. I need to impress my partner, need to sell this all the time. It's a very different
let it flow.
Let it flow. This wonderful inspiration coming from Bob this afternoon. Let it flow. Attitude of gratitude in the morning, and then let it flow. And the musical metaphors, which I can't remember right now, but if you only just joined us, it's worth watching this back, because Bob has been talking some real wisdom here this afternoon, live from San Martino de Porto. Cool to be able to see you all live from Boulder. Also.
Oh my goodness!
From Boulder, the Desplendent Traveller. Do you know the Desplendent Traveller?
I do not.
Okay, you do now. You do now. And Jeff spotted Louise as well. I thought that was Louise. I always enjoy her house sit videos. She's just about to start another one, so maybe expect another video soon. Gary Austin, the great Garvo, is here. Looks like a nice day down there. We have been getting some much needed rain out here. Well, you can keep it there for the time being for another few hours, I think.
For a little bit,
and then we can have some rain here. Thomas, my wife fell in love with Portugal when we visited last year. A bit of a thank you, T-Duck. Thank you, My Dog Smells, as well, for this, for Thomas. And that's really his name, My Dog Smells. Was that you sniggering in the background? My wife fell in love. How does he smell? Terrible. My wife fell in love with Portugal when we visited last year. Now she's on board. with moving there after we retire. So there you
There
go.
you have it.
That
There
was
you
your
have it.
suggestion, wasn't it? And there it is, proven
Yeah.
by My Dog Smells. We don't know your real name, but so we'll just go with that for the time being. My Dog Smells. Bob, thank you so much.
You're quite
Is there
welcome.
anything else you wanted to add? Did we miss anything that would be good to share with My Dog Smells, Gary, the Splendent Traveller, Jeff Jackson, Peter Stewart, Tom S., who are all here this afternoon?
Well, keep watching the Expats Portugal show.
Good on you.
Well, I'm serious though,
Right.
because it definitely helps to get a feel for the people and what's happening and what possibilities are.
Yes.
Carl, I think your selection of programming and people you interview helped us so much. And the one coming up on buying properties, you know, we're going to watch with a friend. So stay connected in the process.
Thank you. And I know that some people have a kind of a similar attitude towards me, that one of the partners likes me and the other one doesn't. It's a bit like Portugal. And, you know, they'll be watching privately and their partner will walk past them like, why are you listening to that guy? What is it with that guy? He can't stay on topic. He makes crude comments all the time. What is it with you and that guy? It's not just me, as Bob was saying there. I've got lots of fabulous co-hosts, as you can see with Bob here. Don't judge me or don't judge the situation, you know, our output here, Expats Portugal or the Good Morning Portugal show, just by me. We've got so many people in our community, haven't we, who come on and talk about it in the chat, in our forum, and as co-hosts and guests on the show. So
and it makes the journey easier. It really does.
What's it feel like you've got those people in all of that community around you, a ready-made community?
Well, and that's why we drove 2.5 hours to get here today, is just for that kind of, you know.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, thank you for doing that. What was that, a paid endorsement? Says Jeff Jackson. Just
not yet.
Pay you after the show. Okay, thanks for that, Bob. And before you go, a quick aloha from Hawaii from Anne McKenzie as well.
Oh my goodness! How about
lovely
that?
is that?
We have a friend house sitting in Portugal right now from Hawaii.
From Hawaii. People are coming from Hawaii to Portugal. It's quite incredible. And Curacao and New Zealand. It's quite extraordinary what's going on. Bob, thank you very much. We're going to spin the camera around and have a look at the seaside now in San Martino de Porto, live from the Silver Coast. It's our meetup. Probably gone past 3 o'clock, isn't it, here? I'm not sure. Are we past 3? It's 4 o'clock already. We're having such a good time. I'm going to turn the mics down and put a bit of music on, and we'll have our next guest on, who might be John or might be Louise. Cheers, Bob. Right, a bit of music. Where's that music gone? Here it is. A bit of music until we have our next guest. My next guest is asking me, what have I got myself into? Come nice and close to the mic there, John. Yes, we were talking to Bob there about scouting. And here is somebody scouting. John, you've been accompanied by your wife here, haven't you? I'm going to turn the music down, John, before you answer that. There we go. The music is off. John, thank you so much for joining us on screen. Thank you for being here. Been great hanging out with you over the last couple of days.
Yes, excellent.
The first part of this then, San Martino de Porto, Silver Coast. How are you enjoying it being here? You're staying in Nazaré?
Lovely. We're staying in Nazaré. It's just a 15-minute drive just north of here. But for the 3 days, we're actually spending more time down here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here. Thanks for coming to the meetup today. Part of your itinerary, where else have you been? Where are you going in Portugal?
Started in Lisbon, then we went down to the Algarve, Alvor for a couple of days, then over to Sagres just to see the southwestern tip of Europe, and then up to Tomar, beautiful place below the castle, and spent a day or so there.
Is that all?
And that's
all you've done
and then,
since you've been
then
here?
over through Alcabasa, then the Nazaré, now here. And so far, because we're doing the scouting intentionally to give every place a chance. So far, this is our favorite place.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh,
absolutely.
interesting. Okay, that is interesting. We got a few more comments here, John. Let's just reach out. People are reaching out to us. Let's see what they've been saying. Marta is here. Hello from Florida.
Hello.
Planning a trip in September. So I think John is a great person for me to be speaking to, Marta, in terms of scouting itineraries and so on. If you've got any questions for John, continue to comment. I've been watching videos where someone recorded a trip from the front of various Lisbon bus routes. It's a great way to see what the city really looks like. Is that Julian Sorensen? Because he's going to be on the show next week talking about using public transport to get around Lisbon and beyond Lisbon.
Well, there's the train strike going on.
Have we got a train strike? Is it tomorrow? Friday possibly.
I don't think they schedule them necessarily.
Okay, all right. It's always like a what do they call them, tomcat strike or a lightning strike?
Yeah, I think it's more of a crapshoot.
Okay, right. You've got a rental though, right?
We chose to rent a car because we did it on purpose. We didn't do it because we knew there was a train strike. We just happened to do it. It worked out well for us. But it's also just a great way to see the countryside and see what's in between the cities. And of course, experience the motorway with cars passing you at 160 kilometers per hour.
You think you're going pretty fast, right?
I'm comfortable going fast, but not that fast.
Yeah, incredible.
So, yeah.
And how's that been, getting used to the Portuguese roads and driving?
Well, actually,
it's
been brilliant, because as long as you stay over on the right lane and mind your business, then you're fine. And of course,
another life metaphor.
Yeah, and if you're
stay in lane, mind your own business.
Exactly. And then if you're going to pass, do your business and get back over.
Are we talking about life metaphors, or are we back to driving now?
Well,
or both.
That's one of my criticisms about the U.S. is people think it's their God-given right to stay in the left lane, and so
you won't be sorry to see the back of that.
Yeah, so they just sit there going, just the speed limit, and they might just sit there and camp right next to somebody on the right-hand side, and not even passing, or maybe going 1 mile an hour faster.
John, don't go there. You're having a nice, relaxing time here in Portugal.
I am. No.
Marta says sound. Now, I don't know if we've lost sound, or she's saying that's a sound idea. We're not sure. I think we're okay with the sound. Annie Anne, sorry, not Annie, but Anne Mackenzie. I'm available anytime to house sit. When I talk to Louise in just a moment, she may have a few tips about how to do that. Chris, what is this, Carl? Get out the medical kit. John has got the syndrome, San Martino de Porto syndrome.
Well, we are leaving tomorrow for up north, so we're going to spend another week and a half going up north. So we'll see.
We'll see. And yes, you mentioned that, and I talked to Bob just previously. Colorado, northern Portugal. You're in that situation, right?
Exactly.
Where there might be that match. What's that about?
I don't know if they mentioned it, but unbeknownst to us, and now that we've gotten to know Bob and Viv, actually we got to know them online a bit, but they're neighbors of ours in Colorado. They just live down the road. So like the next town over. So it's very strange. Not just Colorado, but specifically Central Colorado, and specifically, this
spooky.
Yeah. And apparently it's not just us two couples.
It's not.
There's 2 or 3 other couples.
That's right.
So very strange. And it's all northern Portugal.
If I were the president of Portugal and I heard about it, I'd be thinking, what is going on here? Do I need to fly out to Colorado and see if there's a twinning opportunity? Something in the water. Now, a serious question or observation here, talking of water, we switched from water to food. I hope that was a good segue there. What is this QQQ? Quick question. I don't know what the other Q stands for. The US, says Anne, is threatened with possible food shortages. We've heard about this. Actually, my show tomorrow, I'm talking of the way things are going in the world. Talking to Vitor Costa, our man in the north tomorrow, lives in Ponta Lima, attracting lots of people from Colorado to go to Ponta Lima. We're talking about is Portugal a good place to be in this time in the history of the world, and with possible recessions and financial turbulence. We'll be talking to Vitor about that in the morning. But food shortages in the US, is it the same for Portugal? I guess it could be. What would you make of that? I mean, you're kind of new here. The supermarket seemed pretty full yesterday when we went, didn't it?
I'm not familiar with what food shortages are referring to. The only one I'm aware of in the States is the baby formula.
Yeah.
And that's not really, it's a self-inflicted shortage, because for some reason the powers that be decided that only one main manufacturer of baby formula would be approved, and so that
Oh,
factory
which
had
makes
issues.
it very vulnerable.
Yeah, and so that factory, was shut down, and so
Yeah.
we have no supply.
Yes.
So,
The question is about could it be the same for Portugal? And I don't know about baby formula here, but I know that possibly here in Portugal, there's a lot of local growing, and I think that's really important in a
orange juice.
Tell us about what about the orange juice, John?
Well, every little cafe, every restaurant, every place you go, you can get fresh squeezed orange juice, locally grown. Awesome.
Yeah, enough said. He likes his orange juice, but this is not just oranges. The gardens are abundant, aren't they? Because you like looking at the plants, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
You'll see at the very least some cabbage on the perimeter of a garden.
Everywhere.
And people grow their own food here,
Oh.
quite clearly and obviously, and that may not be the case in the United States, for example. You've become very dependent on the food industry.
Yeah, there's certain places that grow it. That's fine, but here it's like almost everybody has, if they have a plot of land, they might have an orange tree, a lemon tree, a plum tree, something in their backyard.
Yeah.
And that's common. It's not rare.
Yes, we had we do a gardening Q&A every Monday evening, 6:15 on this channel, on Expats Portugal, and the gardening Q&A is amazing. People are sending in photos of their gardens from all over Portugal. Phil, who's here this afternoon, sent in a lovely picture of his plums as well.
He's got bags of it here.
Did he bring some plums with him?
Oh, yeah.
He's even brought some to the meetup.
I've had some.
People are really like, it's a Homer Simpson style on the plums there. So there is a great dependence on the supermarket infrastructure, no question, here in Portugal, and to answer your question. But there's also what you could call, I suppose, a backup plan. People haven't forgotten how to grow their own food here. So the younger generations might be busy. They might be, modern, postmodern people. But grandma and granddad and maybe mum and dad still know how to grow food, which addresses in some way, I think, what you're asking there. Marta, thinking of finding a place or finding places for a week at a time and then exploring a week at a time. That's not unlike what you're doing, is it? You're going from place to place. You've got a really good coverage all over the country. Is that how you planned your strategy?
We're here for 3.5 weeks, and we're basically just checking out each region of the country. We had decided that we wanted to emphasize the north, and so we're spending a little more time up there, but we wanted to give every place a fair shake. And so, we are doing it the scouting trip way, but I was just talking with Dave, and they are doing the set up a base camp. And so they actually came here, plunked down in Arcabasa, renting a place.
Yeah.
And then from there, they go about doing
those
things.
are two very good approaches. And I think it depends on your personality, really, doesn't it? If you're the sort of person who likes driving around and visiting in a different place to sleep every other day, great fun.
4-hour drive.
Nothing to John here. But however, if you're the sort of person who would like a base camp, you can drive pretty much anywhere from that base camp in central Portugal, or the Silver Coast. Go visit all the big towns. It's going to take you 3 hours to get up to Ponte de Lima, I think it was said earlier on. So
from here is 2 hours 44.
So you can have your base camp. The choice is yours, depending on how much work and driving you want to do, I guess. The sound was a boo-boo, apparently. I hope that's okay for you now, Marta. Can't sing the praises of the Red Express coach services here in Portugal, says Gary. Beautiful coaches, very competitive, really quick as well. They drive very fast, those fellas. They got Wi-Fi on there. You can charge up your laptop. It is very good. I can attest to that. Very good value as well. An hour and 10, I think, from Lisbon to Caldas da Rainha here on the Silver Coast. You can go from San Martino de Porto to Lisbon, catch the bus by the Intermarché. Very good, and I think it'll be about an hour, or maybe a bit longer because you've got to go to Caldas first. But yes, great suggestion as an alternative to the trains there. What is the most common reason for Americans, Canadians considering Portugal? Do you want to answer that individually, personally?
Oh, most common? I don't know. I can only speak for ourselves.
Go on.
But we're retired anyway. So we wanted to try out a place that would be a little more sane in regards to
sanity.
Where, just take health insurance, for example.
Yes.
It's one thing to technically be able to afford it in the States because you worked hard all your life or whatever, but to slave away all your life and then spend $25,000 a year plus 10,000 deductible. It's just not right. So
well said. There's one very good reason, Gary. Quality of life, though, right? I mean, we've talked a lot here, haven't we, about how welcoming, how welcoming the country, the people are, food, weather, fruit, orange juice.
Yeah,
there's the the lifestyle, well-being. That's a big thing for you, I take it.
Yeah, because it's one reason why we find San Martino de Porto is attractive. It's just this town is much more of a easygoing vibe, and it's family oriented and beautiful views of the ocean and the beaches.
And interesting, Gary asking the question.
Varied terrain too.
Varied terrain. Okay. And you enjoyed the tour. I really enjoyed taking you out about yesterday.
Was fun. Yes.
Good.
Have you told the story of the frozen meat pies?
I haven't. Let's leave our frozen meat pies hanging there just for a moment, because we will.
Imagine if you.
Who doesn't like to? Yeah, etc. What is the most common reason for Americans, Canadians considering Portugal? Then I think we've covered a few there, Gary. I don't think as yet there are very many Americans, Canadians, North Americans in the Viagra area. But that might be because I've been calling it Viagra for the last year. And, Americans probably don't want to write home saying, we're really happy in Viagra. They do want to write home saying that, apparently. So expect visitors soon, Garvo. Another Gary Graves. Agree totally with you, Gary Austin. We travelled Red Express between Lisbon, Porto and Lagos. Love it. So shout out to the Red Express drivers and passengers today. Thank you, says Anne. Planning a trip to Portugal in September to convince the husband. Another selling job here, because we were talking before, if only one of the partners wants to come, what do you do for the other partner? So trying to convince hubby here, in this case, Mr. Mackenzie, we should retire in Portugal. Love your channel, very informative. It is a pleasure. Thank you for tuning in, Anne Mackenzie. Aloha to you in Hawaii. So, John, it's going pretty well. I mean, one of the questions I'm not asking people this afternoon is, do you like Portugal? Because it's absolutely self-evident, isn't it, that people love being here. What have I missed so far that other people need to know about your fellow Americans, for example, or other people thinking of coming here?
Well, the thing is, I think we were talking a little bit about this the other day. Like, America is, 380 million people?
Right.
And Portugal's 10.
Yes.
So
it's quite a change.
It's a lot more digestible, if you would. You can take it all in.
Yeah.
And in a reasonable way, where it's so too ultra big.
Yes.
In the States, there's certain things that can be done administratively, bureaucratically, or whatever when you have smaller numbers.
Yes.
So we were saying the law of large numbers.
Yes.
Once things get too big, some things just are not practical.
Yeah.
It
becomes inhumane, literally, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When you become a number, people, when someone thinks of you as a number, I think they relate to you differently, right?
Well, as an example, like if I was needing to talk to somebody at my insurance company or whatever in the States, I would maybe talk to a computer telephone voice or something. I would never be talking to a human. And maybe, if I said agent on the, to the thing, I might get a hold of somebody, but they just want to get rid of me as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's actually reasonable to be able to expect to talk to somebody,
yes.
A real human being, and actually have friendships and relationships with the businesses that you
I think you are
with.
As well, right? Because
Yeah.
I overheard you talking earlier on. I must ask John about this and get him to talk a little bit more about this when we go live, because one such person might be Nunu from Winsurance. Michael from Serenity. These are real people you're talking to. And you were saying to somebody else, you should talk Expats Portugal. You get involved with Expats Portugal, because then you can talk to Serenity, you can talk to Winsurance.
Yeah.
That combo is working. Is it? You've got take us through take us through the package.
It's brilliant because connecting with the partners that Expats Portugal has put together. It's not just it's a business model and we're going to have these partnerships. These are just simply relationships with local business people that offer services that make a lot of sense for expats. So if you're going to come here and you need to get health insurance, as you need to for the D7 and everything. It's
Yep.
like, well, what kind of insurance should I get? What kind of levels, and what do I need for just getting the D7? And I can think about what I want to do later.
Can you imagine trying to do that with a
if you're just trying to
computer-based
do that
switchboard?
yourself, but like an outfit like Serenity, they operate as a concierge service for you, and it's like, well, what do you need, and how much do you need? What fits your situation? We're a couple without children, or you're a family with 3 children, or how much private insurance do you need? So they'll help tailor it to your needs and what price points you're wanting to pay, and they give you advice, not trying to sell it to you, and just what works best for you. So you actually have a real person to help coach you through making some of these decisions that you would otherwise make yourself. And it's not like I'm paying a lot of money, it's just a reasonable
it's extraordinary, isn't it? Because you'll be talking to Nunu or one of his team for ages. This is an example for me with motor insurance. And I think the premium is like 150 euros or 200 euros or something for the year. Yeah. And it's like, wow, this is incredible service. Where I'm from, people will be grudging you too much time when you're paying that little money.
Well, he's talking about Nuno, right? And he's an insurance agent and has this business, but he literally was here last week,
Yes.
Just hanging out with people and having a beer, and so these are real people with real relationships that are friends. So it's great.
Wow, brilliant. Thank you for that. So Gilda, Michael, Nunu, who else are you on first name terms with in our community?
I haven't actually met Gilda or Michael yet, but kind of feel like I met Nuno, because we were supposed to meet up in Lisbon for lunch, and so we went there. But we had a little mix-up on WhatsApp, because it was my fault, because I didn't have my WhatsApp app on mobile data. It was just on, so I didn't know. I didn't know that. So I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, he's really let me down. And you hadn't been able to connect.
He said it's like all our messages was crossing, because he wasn't getting mine and I wasn't getting his. That was my fault.
But how many insurance agents can you chat with on WhatsApp? On a good day.
That's the good side of it. Is like I'm literally talking with them just on WhatsApp. So.
Fantastic. Well, John, thank you so much. Frozen meat pies, then finally. This is a little bit of, it's not a complaint exactly. It's just a little bit of something that Pingados head office might like to be aware of.
Yeah. Well, we were at the Pingados supermarket, and just having a look-see at what the meat section looks like, and if they sell milk in the refrigerated section.
We did the supermarket tour as well. Yes,
all that, and we were getting a little hungry. And so, but we didn't want to spoil dinner because we had plans later on. So it's like, let's just get something small. So they have a nice little bakery section, and all these nice pastries and things laid out, and it's like, oh, they have some meat pies, and so there's a chicken meat pie and other meat pie, and they're just laid out in the open, right? So it's not like they were in a freezer or anything. They're just out in the open, and it's like, okay, we'll have some of those and some coffee, and we sat down, and I think I was the first one to bite into mine, and
and you went, ow! Yeah.
So
what's wrong, John?
And it was like ice crystals inside. It was literally an ice block.
And it wasn't a new product from Ola, who are the walls company.
Yeah.
It wasn't an ice cream
which
product.
One would you like?
Actual pie, a frozen pie.
But apparently they do have a microwave, but you have to ask for it to be.
I think they would have gladly warmed your meat pie for you.
And it wasn't just me; it was also
we all had ice crystals in our pies,
but we all just.
In a strange way, we kind of started to appreciate it almost, didn't we? A sort of quite a cooling meat pie, cold meat pie, really cold meat pie. Refreshing meat pie, a new thing.
Well, especially combined with a nice hot coffee.
Yes, yeah. Okay, well that was great, because I was thinking, oh dear, this is terrible. We've had the supermarket tour, and here I am serving our guests frozen meat pie, but we were able to see the funny side.
He's a cheap date.
We absolutely. Yes, have what you like. Have whichever frozen meat pie you like there. But we've created a new category, quite possibly there. here in Portugal. Live this morning.
I do have eyes.
Yeah, there he is. There's John. In case you're wondering if he's going incognito, I nearly said good morning. I think I did say good morning. I'm so used to saying that. It is the middle of the afternoon, going into late afternoon here, live from San Martino de Porto. I'm going to switch the camera around back the other way, but before I do, I'm going to say thank you to you, John. Thank you very much. You might want to stick around for a couple of bits of feedback here. Your channel came highly recommended, so I will have to refer your channel to my husband, says Cara Dizon. We are from California and trying to persuade. Another persuasion selling job here. There is Nelson, the proprietor of the Palmera Cafe. Some of you will know him. Chris, if you're still watching, you know and love Nelson, of course. Did you want to say hi, Nelson?
Hey, hello.
Hello, Baton. Sumo laranja, faz favor? Natural?
Okay, sim, senhor.
Muito obrigado. As we're able to make a quick order there. So, Cara, we are from California and trying to persuade my husband. So, this is becoming a thing, persuading the other partner.
Or analogy for Californians as far as what Portugal is like compared to California.
Go on, yeah.
At least geography and topography wise, it's almost an identical analog to California in the sense it's a quarter of the size, but southern Portugal is like Southern California. Central Portugal is like Central California, Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley, that area. And then Northern Portugal is like Northern California.
Great, there you go. You will love it. And hopefully your husband will too, Cara Dizon, who maybe that's him who we can see in the picture there. So all the best with that. Factor us in because you'll find lots of Lucifophiles, Portugal fans here at the meetup. So if you factor in your trip, Lucifophile, yeah. So we're just worried, you say, about finding public schools for our middle schoolers and soon to be college. We love Portugal for its culture and cost of living and inexpensive health insurance. Cara, jump on. There's Maria. Jump onto the forum and ask other parents in the country about schooling, public schooling and middle schoolers. We have 10,000 plus people in our community. Some of them will have children who are being educated in Portugal. So jump on there at expatsportugal.com/community. Nice thing is you can take a scenic train ride in the Douro Valley as a trip from Lisbon. That sounds fantastic. Are you going to go to the Douro or not? You're not going to make that?
Well, yes, we will be there tomorrow.
Oh, excellent.
Tomorrow afternoon, early afternoon. We have a place for 2 days.
Good for you. The wonderful Cindy B is here. But I hope to be back next week. I hope you'll be back next week as well, Cindy B. Missing you here. Scenic train ride to Douro Valley sounds lovely, says Anne. Might you recommend reasonable lodging in Lisbon for a night or two before taking the train? Yes. Again, go to our forum. People will have great recommendations for staying in Lisbon. Little hacks from the community here. Long time since I've been with you live, says Shauna Hyder. Time conflicts. I know, and isn't it great that we can do this so that we can catch more of you Americans who otherwise, and Canadians and people in other time zones who would otherwise listen at 1, 2 or 3 in the morning. So good to see you here, Shauna. Must go. Enjoy the rest of the day. Cheers, Peter. We must go. I think John probably wants to get back to his coffee here, or orange juice, I suspect.
Finish that.
How does Portuguese wine compare to Californian wine? Can you make a comparison?
They have awesome wine here. The secret about Portugal is they keep it to themselves. So they make enough wine for local consumption, and they're plenty happy about that.
Yeah, there you go. He's nailed it. He's not been here long, but that is a really, really good observation. That, John, where are you having dinner tonight? Another question for you.
Oh, we haven't decided yet. We'll probably do Nazaré.
Oh, Chris is a huge Nazaré fan. What do you recommend? Is it Aqui del Mar? Yes, Aqui del Mar is a recommendation for you from Chris in Nazaré for you tonight. Just by the harbour. It's almost like he's saying just by the harbour, as in make them an offer.
That would be expensive.
It's just by the harbour. Oh,
look at this.
No, that's mine, John.
Oh, no, I just wanted to show it to you. Fresh.
John loves his...
Palmera.
Muito obrigado. Palmera Cafe. Look, I will show you. Nelson, look at this. We've got the camera looking at the bay. So if we spin the camera around, we can look at your menu there. So we've got your special for the day and the view of the bay there. And we've got Maria's coming in with the plums. Can you put them on that camera?
The plums. Yes.
Maria, that camera's working. Here are some plums from Geiras in near Óbidos. Oh my goodness! Thank you very much, Maria.
It's in front.
You're on the right side there.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking.
Do you want to just go? So she doesn't want to be. Oh, there she is. Look, our lovely assistant, Maria. Thank you so much. Oh, these are still warm from the tree.
Oh.
Oh, bless you.
The darker they are, the sweeter they are.
Oh, thank you very much. Nelson, we like having your menu in the picture. Yeah, absolutely. Everyone needs to know what the Prato do Dia is. Do you want to talk about it while you're there? If you come into the shop, so if we... No, come.
Chicken and potatoes.
So look at that. We've got at the top there, sopa de feijão. So bean soup. Bean soup at €1.70. Green beans, okay. Green bean soup. Frango no forno. Chicken baked in the oven. With potatoes.
Yep.
Patatas. Patatas fritas or...
Plate of the day.
Burra. Everything together for €9 there. That is Prato do Dia there. Beautiful. Coffee's great here as well with Nelson.
Yes.
Cheers, mate. He's such a fantastic host. There he is.
We still haven't paid for our orange juices. So.
He hasn't forgotten that. There you go. There's the menu. And there we go. So back on John. And I think we've got Beverly in the background here. Beverly's come to show us something. Is that a prawn pastry?
It's one of theirs. They make them here.
I think they call this the camarão pastry. It's prawn shaped, isn't it? It's shrimpy. Should we go for it, John?
Sure.
Are you going to join us, Beverly?
Almonds on
Yeah,
it
because
too?
you've only got one.
Okay, you can go now, Beverly. Thank you.
I think she wanted some of that.
Would you like to break that up for us, and we can have a little tasting live here from Palmera? Hopefully, we'll enjoy it.
The local GNR.
Our GNR just went past it. You waved.
I did wave.
Right. Okay.
Not sure if he waved back.
Did he wave back?
I think maybe.
Oh, look at this. Here we go. I'm going to hold this up. I'll take the little one.
Oh,
I nearly went for the big one there, didn't I?
I
I didn't lick it, though. Look, there we go. It's dusted with icing sugar, isn't it?
It's not prawn flavored.
Thankfully, right? We got some almond flakes on there.
It's an almond cookie.
Almond biscotti sort of.
Biscotti.
Yeah. Pigeons come to say hello and have a bit of biscotti. Serving suggestion from Beverly. This is Beverly, who won the competition last Friday to go to Cairo. Do you want to show us some belly dancing now? Right. Okay. How was it?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Go
to Cairo.
It's,
In Caldesh.
Yeah, in Caldesh, right. It's like service, like help yourself. You can help yourself.
Tell us in there while you're eating your biscuit.
I know. Sorry, I'm spitting. The dishes are amazing. You start with there's baba ganoush, which is aubergine and garlic, like a pate type thing. And
Did you know that, John? I thought Baba Ganoush was a character from a children's fairy tale.
I thought so too.
It probably is as well. They probably stole the name. Tahini dip and hummus. They make everything themselves. It's all fresh. There's I said she should change the name of the restaurant to Stuffed. I'm not sure she was. I'm not sure she was quite so happy about that. But the reason being is that like the chicken has vegetables stuffed into the skin. The potatoes have hollowed out, and there's things stuffed into the potatoes. There's like filo pastry with chicken in the middle. All sorts of beautiful things. They do a lot for a vegan as well. A lot of
vegan and vegetarian too.
Vegan and vegetarian. Now I would say at least half of the dishes are vegan and vegetarian. They had vegan moussaka, which was delicious as well. So yeah, it's really good place to go. And the added bonus is I'm not sure if it's just on a Friday night they did the belly dancing, but it was amazing. It was so mesmerizing I couldn't eat my food.
Can you have a go if you want to?
Yeah, she actually got me and another lady up to do some dancing afterwards.
All right, we'll see if we can get a video of that from Beverly.
It's not from me. Martin took it, and I think it's already censored.
Already censored. Beverly, thank you very much for dropping by with your biscuits. You're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
With such great hospitality there from Palmera here. John, we've covered frozen pies. We've covered scouting trips, different approaches to it. Your developing love of Portugal.
Yeah.
Do you think you might come back?
Yeah, we're not leaving yet.
No, I mean, scouting trip wise, there's a very good.
Yeah,
I don't suppose you've discovered too much disappointment.
No, it's been more confirmation of what I was expecting. I haven't been surprised by where things as expected or different from it. So I would say it's relatively as I expected. Maybe largely because we've done our due diligence and our own research on things, but trying to learn the language and all that. Just starting, but
good man.
Yeah,
excellent stuff. Thank you so much.
Expat community here, so that's
have you enjoyed coming to the meetup?
Yeah, this is our intro to that. We've been what you call lurkers on the channel for a year and a half or more. Hey, Mrs. M.
Mrs. M is here now, and I messed up this morning when she was talking about her new astrology newsletter. I sent you to the wrong direction, and she's going to come and talk to me she's not going to talk to me about it this afternoon. I'll see what I can do about that. Okay, I'm going to spin the camera back round to the bay, and we're going to have a look at San Martino de Porto as we thank John. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to seeing you already back here.
Yes, excellent.
Now you've got your case of San Martino de Porto syndrome. We're spinning the camera around back the other way. There's Nelson's menu. Not Nelson's column. Well, it's kind of like Nelson's column, isn't it? It's Nelson's menu, a column of food there. And we have the view of the bay, and we're going to play a little bit of music and turn the mics down and hope to get Louise back here onto the screen to talk to you. 50 plus expats, solo 50 plus. Let's put some music on. Be back in just a moment. Limbering up now with my next guest for you. You can see these are plums. Have you tried them? Go on then, have a plum. Have a plum. I'm just talking to T-Duck there, sorry. And I'm going to stop the music for a moment. We've got some nice piano music as you were looking at the bay there. And we are turning the camera back round. And you'll see a familiar face. I think anyone who looks at YouTube and what's that? Oh, some belly dancing. I can show you the belly dance. We've got the evidence, haven't we? Thank you, Martin, very much for that. Oh, my goodness.
The two of them doing it.
Doing a
belly dance.
A belly dance. Thank you very much. I think that's been sent to me via messenger. Cheers, Martin. Louise, you can see stroking the... Have you enjoyed that?
Yeah.
It's a bit like one of your house sitting gigs, isn't it? Do you do microphone sitting as well? Because I think your microphone will be in good hands here, T-Duck, if ever you need it looked after. Louise has taken quite a shine to the microphone cover there. Louise, expats. Oh, I'll turn your microphone up as well, shall I?
Okay.
Let's get you a bit closer. You're going to get close to that thing. Solo, 50 plus expats. Expat solo. Go on.
Never get it.
I never get it right, do I? But you can. It's your
Solo,
channel.
50 plus.
Okay, I need you a lot closer.
Solo 50 plus.
Yeah.
Expat. Oh, see, you think that...
I'll put
Solo
it.
50
Do you know? I'll
plus.
put it in the
Solo
notes.
50 plus expat people.
Okay.
You have to start typing solo 50 plus and it comes up.
I will put it in the notes so you know exactly where to go to.
It's lovely though, isn't it? Nice.
Isn't it amazing?
Yeah.
Look at this. You're more of an Insta girl, I think, aren't you? As well, you like using Instagram, don't you? I saw you on Instagram the other day. When I said to you, I saw you dancing on Instagram, you were quite shocked.
Yeah, no, because I thought you meant I was doing one of them silly trend dances.
No, you wouldn't do that, would you? No, you're your own.
Things
Your own category creator. For those who might not know who you are, oh, a Tudabane from Chris. Chris is here. Loads of people know you. I'm sure you get.
People don't.
Sure, but for those who don't, who are you? What's your YouTube channel about specifically?
Oh, actually, it's changed a bit. I don't know.
How did it start out? What happened?
It started out. Well, it's just about moving to Portugal.
Yeah.
As a solo person who was over 50. To inspire. And for all those people that think they'd like to do it, but think, oh, I can't because I'm on my own or I'm too old. Yeah. And I was just going to move here and buy somewhere and live like a normal person. But a year and a half later,
couldn't do it.
Just nomading around Portugal.
So that was the first intention then. Go get a place. Yeah. But you have not found a place in a year and a half. You haven't even had a chance to look because you've been busy house sitting.
Well,
and I think that's what people love now about your videos. You're in a different town or city every other week, aren't you? Where are some of the places you've been?
I've just driven yesterday 3.5 hours from Bragança district.
You quite liked Bragança, didn't you?
Oh my God.
I think that's a yes.
Oh my God. It's amazing. And
had you ever heard of Bragança before? You say you had heard of it?
My landlady's from.
Of course it is. Yes, indeed. Yes, of course. And you like what you saw?
Mind blowing.
So the sense I get then is this whole process of actually buying somewhere eventually is getting more and more difficult because every new place. It's the San Martino de Porto syndrome, isn't it? Every place you go to.
It's not even. It's even more than just location. It's like if I was to live in the village where I stayed, I mean that is a completely different lifestyle. I mean, I know we talk about Portugal being a bit back in time, but this is really back in time. You're talking a good way. Your neighbour ploughing his field with a donkey and
really
and
so you fall in love with Bragança.
So the Airbnb host, he didn't realise the day I was leaving. He said, oh, I told somebody there's an English lady here. There's another English lady 4 villages away and she's invited you over. I mean, there's no other foreigners there. It's that kind of...
Fantastic. So Bragança's on the list now. What other places have you fallen in love with in this last year and a half?
There's just everywhere except the Algarve is on the list.
Oh, controversial. Did you hear that, everybody? It's not just me who gives the Algarve a little bit of stick every now and then. Why not? Why not the Algarve? Not anywhere in the Algarve. Oh. Do you know what, though? I suspect, Louise, that you will get a house-sitting request in the Algarve and we'll have a conversation.
I have I deliberately house-sat in the Algarve
to check it out.
Just so that I could say that, no, it's definitely not for me. I house-sat there for 3 weeks.
In one place, though?
Yeah.
In that one place? I mean, the Algarve's diverse.
Yeah, I know.
Right. There's me defending the Algarve. That's not like me. What am I doing?
Yeah, but what is the point? It's easy that I can mitigate that whole part of the country. What is the point in adding more to the list?
That is true, but the Algarvians would feel a little, a bit miffed about that. I think that you're ruling them out en masse like that. We'll see if there are invitations for a house sit gig. I mean, Anne was asking about that. She was going to dust off her passport and come and do a bit of house sitting. Can you talk about that? How easy is it to get house sitting gigs here in Portugal? I mean, people want you now. They see because they're vetting you by watching your videos, aren't they? Come and sit at our house. We know you.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you want to go to the Algarve, definitely, there's so much. That's where most of the houses are.
And how do you find out about them? How would somebody find out?
So I use a website called Trusted House Sitters. Other platforms are available, but that is my preferred.
Trusted House Sitters.
And they are actually, I think, the largest house sitting site.
Yeah.
So some people say because of that, there's a lot of competition because there's obviously a lot of house sitters, but then there's a lot of house sits.
Yeah. Okay, so Trusted House Sitters is good.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it before, presumably you have to build something of a reputation
Yes, but you can put on, if you've ever looked after a friend's pet, ever looked after somebody's house,
Hopefully it's
babysat
gone
a
well.
plant, just ask them. You can get people to put a little reference up
Oh,
for
I
you
see. Okay.
beforehand, so
Yeah.
they show us slightly different from the house sitting references where you've actually done one through the site.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can easily, even if you've been an Airbnb host, if you've been a landlord, if you've there's
It all
loads of
helps. There you
ways
go,
that
Anne.
you can,
All right, that's for Anne. Any other questions for Louise while she's here on the Silver Coast here at San Martino de Porto? Just pop them in the chat. You know what to do. It's easy. So Aki Del Mar in Nazaré is a recommendation from Chris, who was shouting out to you earlier on and likes your latest video. Excuse me, Joe Diaz. Sorry, Carl, couldn't make it. Love it here in Caldas de Raña. Finally made it here from Silicon Valley, California. I don't have them down as being very similar, but who knows? Caldas de Raña and Silicon Valley. I'll make sure to make it to the next meetup. Be lovely to meet you, Joe. Have you done a house sit in Caldas? Do you know Caldas?
I used to live really close to there.
Did you enjoy it? No.
No,
Okay.
I don't. No.
Where you say near? Where were you?
Vanadia.
Near Caldas de We've done so. How could I have forgotten that? I can't believe it. Louise, that is mortifying for a moment. We've done so much, haven't we, between us in the last 18 months, 2 years.
It's good job I got
I can't believe. What, to remind you what you've been up to?
Sometimes I
can't believe I just asked you that.
On my channel to see the video for that week, so I know what.
You can check in with your own life. Okay, lobster, crab, pole and pole with manchega.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking. This is Chris's serving suggestion, and that's T-Duck having a quick look. The virtual producer T-Duck stepping in. So lobster, crab, and bread and butter, I think, is what Chris is talking about. That, and he's going, ooh. I don't know if this is a savoury comment to be reading out, judging by the name. Okay, Nobster 64. So what you call yourself, Nobster 6473. I've heard that there are protests about Americans coming there and driving housing prices. Is that a thing? Protests. No one's on the streets, are they? No.
Do
you know? Yeah, there are rumblings on forums, and it's the Americans themselves making the protests, isn't it? It's not like local people are complaining about it necessarily. It's Americans making a fuss about Americans. That's so unlike them, isn't it?
I'm saying
Nelson, seen and spotted there by Chris, who knows Nelson. Gary, I've got to come and share some javali at Nasa de Sol very soon. Best I've had yet. Let's do that. I'd love to. Carl, 7th of July, we're in Nazaré, going to have a beer with you. Yes. Say again? No, it's Capricorn. That Chris. Many times, imagine Chris Smith will be sat on his porch plucking his banjo, and who doesn't? Many times, people have said to me that immigrants are very welcome in central Portugal because they want people to farm and use the land and keep the local economy and life going. Is that the sort of lifestyle that you fancy, Louise? Did you want to grow food here?
I definitely want to grow food, but when I came here, I just had. Well, when I was back in the UK and was thinking about coming to Portugal, I had visions of just having a little detached house on the edge of a town, large garden, to grow my own food, have a few chickens, but who knows now.
Okay, yes, and you're not alone in that. I think people, it's like best laid plans. Can't even say it, let alone plan it. That's what I'd like to do, Gary. Small farm and employ some locals to run it. Oh, I see. That could be us, couldn't it? What are you paying, Nobster? I'm not interested in making any money off it, but would be fun to do. Okay, you know where I am, Carl at expatsportugal.com. That sounds like an interesting project. Had one in here in the US for a few years. Love your channel, Louise.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. And Nobster, I think he's Rick. Not really. Tom S says there are only about 6,000 Americans in Portugal. There are a lot more British, Brazilians, and from other former Portuguese colonies. Yes, there's not many of them. They're a bit noisy. So it does seem like there is a protest, but there isn't really. Louise, your channel is really unique. You are really providing a service that no one else does.
Oh.
That's called a niche, I think, in the business, isn't it? We get a chance to see more of Portugal on your channel than any other. I'm not offended. I'm not offended by that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, maybe.
Get out the studio a bit.
should get out of the studio a bit.
You could do some lives.
God, I should get out of the studio a bit. Maybe I should get out of San Martino de Porto a bit as well, like you do. Victoria as well is here, and Andrew, go! Man Cave greeting, and Louise as well. Big A! And Chris carrying on the conversation there. We have a place in the Algarve.
What's that?
Yeah, we have a place in the... Do you want to read this one? Because I think it might be addressed to you.
We have a place in the Algarve and it's totally different in the summer. Yes, see, that's the thing as well. This is what people in the Algarve complain about, not me. Each town and village is different too. Don't write it off.
Don't write it off.
That's the problem. It's handy if I can write it off because then it's just less
done that, been there, done that.
On the list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say that it is like anywhere. Some towns and places are nicer than others, and vice versa.
It's not. Okay. It's not nice though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's just not for me. In fact, on that point, look, people ask because I'm moving around a lot. Say, where's the best place?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, you're the person who would know.
Where is the best? Not where is the best place for ... or where is but where is the best place?
Full stop.
Question mark. Full stop.
Yep.
That is. I mean, one person's.
Are you getting sick of it?
Another person's hell. No, it's just that I think even if people have because people have said to me. Even some of the homeowners, when I've sort of said what type of person I am, what type of thing I like, they said, "Oh, you'll love it here."
Yeah.
And I've got
or it might not be for you, like judging you and say, this might not be for you. Yeah.
And so if people are genuinely trying to find out by asking that question, they could either write something off because of what someone said, or it's not. One person's hell is another man's heaven, isn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And thinking makes it so, to bring in Shakespeare there. So please don't be asking Louise what is the best place, full stop. And that is Rick, also known as Nobster6473. Louise, you made it, says Cindy B.
Yes, I did, because I messaged Cindy to say...
Oh, shame Cindy's not here today.
Yeah.
Rick,
yes, Cindy, I made it. Thanks for your help.
The gentrification is a global thing. How much is a place in San Francisco or London? There you go.
But you have the same arguments going on in London. Oh, then foreign investors, pushing the prices up.
4:52 in the afternoon. We're just getting a time check from the producer. He is doing his job. Hurry up, Carl.
Right,
Louise,
am I getting kicked out the chair?
Yeah, I think we are. Louise, your videos are so wonderful.
Oh, thank you, Victoria.
Isn't that nice? Are you glad you popped by?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's pretty expensive. I'm in Oregon now, but California is moving here, driving up the prices. There's a funny Californian thing going on for sure. Afternoon, says Stephen Wells. And look at this, Algarve is my heart. It's just two people you've upset this afternoon. So many things to...
I thought Victoria was somewhere else.
Praia de Rocha. They had bioluminescence there last night. And UFOs, I think. So many things to explore. Mountains, beach, countryside. Yep. Carl, what is the best place? Stop it, Stephen. Algarve is incredible. Vicky, you're so right.
What is Algarve? Oh, no, probably all my subscriptions will have gone down by the time I get home.
No, maybe you could do one. But if you do why the Algarve is so crap as your clickbaity next title, you get loads of people watching that. And because I tried it yesterday actually. What's wrong with Portugal? Yeah.
Oh, right.
I tried to. Who doesn't like a bit of clickbait in the morning? Me for sure. What's wrong with Portugal? It went like a dead balloon. Or dead balloon. Yeah, it didn't stick. It didn't stick at all. And big boy Crypto Pants has been attracted by our afternoon broadcast. You have to make a decision. You have to. I think the emphasis here is you have to make a decision where the best place is to live. Exactly. Make a decision and then go for it. Explore. Yeah, make a decision and then change your mind.
Yeah.
That's what is wrong with Portugal. The Algarve. Yes, indeed. Well, Louise has joined me here. We're going to spin that camera around as we conclude this afternoon. I'll show you the last few pictures of the bay as the evening comes our way, and there'll be a beautiful sun. Will there be a beautiful sunset here? Some interesting clouds. Louise, final thoughts from you. When's your next video out?
Oh. The last one was...
You're such a YouTube influencer. Here she is. When's your next video?
Hey, I just do one.
Hate it when people ask me that.
What I mean is, I'm supposed to put one out once a week, and the last one was like 11 days it went to. So I don't know. Sorry.
But you're pretty much weekly.
Yeah.
It's weekly. Okay. It's all right.
Right. Yeah, they come out weekly.
All right. Okay, lightweight, weekly indeed. Anything else you want to tell us? Where's your next gig?
No, but the next not the next video actually, but look out for Braganza.
Okay, that's the top tip.
Oh,
That's the top tip for this afternoon. Watch out for Braganza. Time is, look at this. We've been on for 1 hour 20. Can't believe it. So lovely chatting here. Can we make this a regular thing, please?
yes, good.
Okay. Carl, I'm joking. You're not. Too late for that, Andrew. Thank you so much, everybody who's tuned in this afternoon. Thank you, Louise, for popping. It's a lovely surprise to see you here. I'm sure you want to chat with Mrs. M. So we will spin that camera around as we draw to a close. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Yes, let's do make this a thing. It's been made possible by top producer T-Duck. Do you want to quickly say hello? There he is, top producer T-Duck, dancing in front of the sea like a Randy Sailor. That's probably one of those Portuguese sayings, isn't it? Dancing in front of the sea like a Randy Sailor. Thank you, everybody. We'll leave that as the final shot, and we'll say goodbye to you this afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to John, to Bob, and to Louise, who's been here as well. Take care. Bye for now.